Thanks for staying tuned. I'm COLWYN ABRAMS with the HGP SPORTSCAST. During Sunday's ODI featuring West Indies versus Bangladesh, Scotiabank Kiddie Cricket made a spectacular return to the field of play with a stunning display of talent and skills by the enthusiastic children of Guyana. More than 100 boys and girls from across the country participated in the lunchtime Scotiabank Kiddie Cricket interval display, accompanied by Chirpy, the larger-than-life fun-loving mascot, at the Guyana National Stadium as West Indies and Bangladesh competed in the first one-day international at Providence. Mr. ANAND SANASIE, Secretary of the Guyana Cricket Board and Director of the Cricket West Indies, commented during the interval display.
The Kiddies Cricket Program is probably the longest sporting partnership between two entities. We're now here for probably 18 years with Cricket West Indies partnering with Scotiabank. The program itself currently engages about 135 to 37,000 kids across the region in 17 countries. For Guyana, we engage 210 primary schools, so we basically in contact with about 27,000 young kids. We also engage about 24 coaches across the foundation and the level 1 program.
Mr. SANASIE mentioned that the program has recently introduced an academic cricket manual for the classroom setting that will be distributed to schools across the country in partnership with the Ministry of Education. It will introduce mathematics, English, social studies, science, HFLE, and other core primary subjects in a relatable and fun cricket context.
This program started in, I think, 1999, and back then Dr. C. Prasad was in charge of the development program for the West Indies Cricket Board, now called Cricket West Indies. From 2006, I think, to today, Mr. KJ Singh is handling the program, and he has really transformed this into a significant development program for our youths. I can tell you our current captain of the West Indies team, Jason Holder, is a product of that. Locally, almost every one of the youngsters who have moved up, inclusive of Bashkar Yadram, Kimo Paul, Jacobs, people like Jonathan Fu, they have all passed through this program.
Scotiabank's Cindy Mohammed, Manager of Public and Corporate Affairs, Caribbean South and East, stated, Scotiabank is committed to helping our young people become better off, and we're proud that the Scotiabank Kiddie Cricket Program enables to achieve this. When Guyana, St. Lucia and Antigua host the first standalone ICC Women's World T20 in November, Cricket West Indies and Scotiabank will be putting special arrangements in place to give female cricketers in the Kiddie Cricket Program the opportunity to watch the matches and participate in activities surrounding this grand world event across the 3 host venues. COLWYN ABRAMS reporting for the HGP Sports. And now for news coming out of the CAC Games. In the women's doubles, Ashley Khalil and Taylor Fernandez of Guyana lost their semi-final match against Laura and Maria Tovar of Colombia. The Guyanese pair, however, secured Guyana's first bronze medals of the Games. The team competitions for squash begins on July 24 with the Guyana men Sunil Seth, Nyron Joseph and Jason Ray Khalil in Group B along with Panama and Colombia, while the women Taylor Fernandez, Mary Frangafat and Ashley Khalil face Barbados. And we turn our attention to hockey. Guyana's men's hockey team collapsed to Mexico after a fierce battle at the CAC Games. Kristen Macklingham has more.
Coming off of a winning performance in their opening match, Guyana's men's hockey team took to the field on Monday against the #1 seed and defending bronze medalists, Mexico. Guyana adopted a more defensive structure than they did in the previous match, and this made it difficult for Mexico to make any meaningful inroads in the Guyanese goal area during the early part of the match. With the halftime approaching, the Mexicans broke the Guyanese defensive wall, and a desperation tackle gave a penalty stroke to Mexico. Standout player for Mexico, Francisco Aguilar, converted the stroke to give Mexico a 1-0 lead at halftime. The second half saw Mexico take control of the match as their superior experience and fitness began to create more opportunities against the fading Guyanese side. Aguilar converted his second penalty stroke in the first minute of resumption and completed a hat-trick with a field goal in the 52nd minute. Mexico's 3-0 victory places them at the top of Pool B, while Guyana will need a win against Guatemala on Wednesday 25th to secure a semi-final spot. Coach of the Guyanese men, Robert Fernandez, while disappointed with the final result, was pleased with how his team performed at times during the match and indicated that their challenge now is to maintain their discipline and structure for the duration of the tournament if they are to challenge for a medal. The Guyanese women faced Mexico at 1 p.m. Guyana time on July 24 for their final pool round match. For HGP Sport, I am Kristen Macklingham.
Thank you, Kristen. 3 elite Guyanese football referees will officiate in the Central American and Caribbean Games.
The Guyanese match officials will be among those officiating at the Central American and Caribbean Games, being held in Barranquilla, Colombia, from July 18 to 31. The officials are referees Gladwin Johnson and Maurice Skeet and assistant referee Kevin Stevens. According to Stanley Lancaster, head of the Ghana Football Federation refereeing department, this is an achievement for the CONCACAF Tier 2 referees, whose participation signals an opportunity for further technical assessment and development. This is the second time that match officials from Guyana have been invited to participate in the CAC Games. This is certainly encouraging and shows the confidence bestowed on the match officials from Guyana to sustain the rigors of competition. This opportunity will contribute to enhanced technical development considering the expected networking and level of competition, he added. Johnson is also part of the CONCACAF Targeted Advanced Referee Program, TARP, which seeks to foster the technical growth and development of select referees. The female leg of the CAC Games began on July 18 and will conclude on July 30, while the male competition is from July 19 to 31. This year's CAC Games have 38 participating countries included in 40 disciplines, including athletics, field hockey, football, cycling, swimming, and beach volleyball. COLWYN Abrams reporting for the HGP Sports.
And that has brought us to the end of this edition of the HGP Sportscast. Remember, if your dream is big enough, the facts don't matter. Goodbye.